Welcome to the 15th episode of Season Tickets. I'm Michael.
And I'm Max. The Ferry football team plays Oberlin at home on Friday.
The cross-country team has regionals this week. And now we're going to go into our debate, and is Johnny Manziel the answer for the Cleveland Browns? Go.
I'm going to go eventually, but not right now. You can't overreact to a couple bad games. Hoyer is still very young as a starter, not age-wise, really. But just stop overreacting. Still plenty of season left to go.
I think he isn't right now, but very soon. You've seen Brian Hoyer struggle in the last two games against Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. I know they won against Pittsburgh, but the Jacksonville game was just unacceptable, and I know he doesn't really have the best team around him, but if he struggles when Josh Gordon comes back, I think Manziel should start by week 12 if the Browns don't have a winning record. What do you think about that?
I don't think week 12. I still think you should wait for the draft next year because we're 2 picks in the first round with a good receiver class. It might add some more help for him.
I now have an interview with the basketball coach, Coach Mikenecht. And Coach Mikenecht, do you think the varsity team, how do you think they will do this season?
I'm excited about this season, but I'm excited about every season. I think we have a core of guys returning as seniors who have a lot of experience under their belt. They've seen varsity experience since their sophomore year. So I think that we'll kind of go as those guys go, and we kind of have a phrase or a saying or a motto this year. It's time to take the next step. We've been kind of competing in the middle of the conference, and we haven't been able to make that jump where we're competing for a league title. And so, our focus now is to take that next step and get into the upper echelon of our conference. And I want to thank Mike and Max here for having me on Season Tickets. I'm a big fan of the show.
Are you expecting big things from the seniors?
Yeah, definitely. I look at some of our returning seniors. I look at like a core of guys that all started for us last year. Kevin Kurchinski, Josh Zarate, and Ryan Williams are 3 seniors that all started for us as juniors last year. Kevin and Ryan and Josh all got experience as sophomores as well. So these guys are our leaders. These are the guys who are going to have to step their game up if we're going to get into that upper echelon.
Do you think LeBron James will lead the Cavs to an NBA title this season?
No, I do not, and I say that confidently. I've been a fan of the NBA for a long time, and while I think the Cavs have potentially the talent to win an NBA championship, so do a lot of other teams. And I think that there's something about the NBA, and this is just a natural sort of progression of things that I've noticed in my lifelong appreciation of the NBA game, is that there seems to be a maturation process that teams have to go through. You kind of have to build that chemistry and gel that team together, and it usually seems to take a couple years. Even the Big Three with the Miami Heat didn't win it their first year. It's very, very rare that you see that happen. And I also think too, with the Heat. The Cavs in the Eastern Conference, I don't think the Eastern Conference is near as strong as the Western Conference. So I don't know that they're going to be tested the same way as some of the teams coming out of the West.
Who is the one player you want to watch most this season in the NBA or college basketball?
In the NBA, I would say there's 2 guys. Derrick Rose. I'm really, really interested to see how he comes back from the multiple knee injuries that he's had over the last couple of years. I'm a big fan of Derrick Rose. There's a lot to like about him. I'm pulling for him. I want to see him come back strong. And then I would also say I'm real interested to watch Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard kind of emerged in the NBA Finals last year with the Spurs as almost stepping up to almost star status. And I'm a big fan of him too. I love his game. I love the way he plays. I like how he's very even keel. He's never up. He's never down. He's very businesslike. I'm real interested to see if he does become the next star of the Spurs for the next generation of the Spurs, who, in my opinion, have been the blueprint of what a professional franchise should be if they're going to be extremely successful.
Do you think your team, Michigan, will go to the Elite Eight this season?
Oh, man. A lot of question marks behind my Wolverines. I sure hope so, because it's been a rough football season. We need basketball to pick the football team up this year. But I think that with everything that they've lost and a lot of question marks that they have, losing Stauskas is certainly going to be a tough hole to fill. Levert's back. Levert's going to have to he's going to have to step up big for them. Preseason Big Ten first team. We'll see if he can live up to that. But there's a lot of young talent. The point guard Walton, I like him a lot.
And center, they lost Horford.
They lost Horford. They lost Morgan. They've got. We'll see how some of these other young guys pan out. That got some playing time last year, and they have a really strong freshman class too. They brought in some really good talent as well. I think Beeline has the Michigan program back to the point where we're a national contender year in, year out. I think they're back to that how we were back in the back in my days in the late '80s and the early '90s with the Fab Five and everything. I don't know. Grade 8, I think, is possible, but they're going to have to prove a lot along the way in the Big Ten. And ask me the same question right before the NCAA tournament.
The Broncos beat the Chargers last night, 35-21, behind the big night by Emmanuel Sanders. And yes, I started him in fantasy. And the scores are now 47-42 max.
Oh, my upset of the week is going to be Oklahoma State over West Virginia. West Virginia is high off a win over Baylor, but I think they're going to struggle in this game, be a little overconfident, and Oklahoma State's going to beat them.
I think Washington over Arizona State. Washington's having an all right season. Coming off a blowout loss to Oregon, but they always get blown out by Oregon.
Ole Miss plays LSU, and we both have Ole Miss.
South Carolina plays Auburn, and we both have Auburn.
Utah plays USC. I got USC because they got a big, talented squad, and quarterback Cody Kessler broke his school record last week.
I got Utah. Travis Wilson is going to be a starter, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and played great in a win at Michigan. Despite Michigan being, a bad team, they're just, it's a big win on the road.
Ohio State plays Penn State, and we both have Ohio State.
The Seahawks play the Panthers, and we both have the Seahawks.
The Ravens play the Bengals, and we both have the Bengals.
Bears play the Patriots, and I have the Bears.
I got the Patriots. I just think that they can win this game. The Bears haven't been playing very well.
The Eagles play the Cardinals. I have the Eagles led by Nick Foles.
I got Arizona because Carson Palmer and Larry Fitz and Michael Floyd have been playing well this season.
The Colts play the Steelers. Both have the Colts.
Saints play the Packers. I got the Saints. They've been losing some really close games. I think they get this one done.
I have the Packers. Like I said last week, Aaron Rodgers is probably the most clutch quarterback in the NFL right now, and if it comes down to late in the game, I think Aaron Rodgers pulls it out.
That will wrap it up for the 15th episode of Season Tickets. Make sure you come back next week as we recap all of these games and more.